So I have a friend, my best friend that we'll call Brittany, because that's her name. One day I start getting texts from her talking about these boy bands in Korea. She's sending me pictures of these random dudes talking about EXO and GOT7, and I'm like, I have no idea what this is. Can you please add some context? She tells me these are K-pop groups. Now, for those that don't know, K-pop is Korean pop, specifically South Korea. Now, I had heard about K-pop and always figured it was like young girls and boys dancing and singing, and I was like, not really something I'm interested in. But she assured me that a lot of K-pop artists or idols are in their 20s. So me being me and being somebody that takes an interest in the interests of my close friends, I was like, all right, I'll bite. Send me something K-pop you feel I would enjoy. She sends me a music video of a girl group called Blackpink and their song As If It's Your Last. So I watched it and thought, oh yeah, it's catchy and well produced and I could see how you could be into this. Can't understand most of what they're saying, but I imagine fans would just look up the translations. So that was that. I moved on with my life, but Brittany kept talking about K-pop and these groups, and randomly I just thought, let me go back and watch that music video again. So I went back, watched it, and really got into it on my second viewing. Really liked the rhythm, the beat, the one girl rapped in English, I liked the lyrics, and before I knew it, I was whistling along to the song. So then I'm like, let me watch some of their other songs. Now at the time, there were only 5 songs by Blackpink, but I watched all of them. Boombaya, Whistle, Playing with Fire, Stay, I was into all of them. But then I noticed something that YouTube was recommending, a compilation of Blackpink's members speaking English. So I'm like, I speak English, I'll watch this. The video quickly showed that 3 of the 4 Blackpink members spoke English pretty fluently, but then I realized something else. One member stood out from the rest, the youngest by the name of Lisa. Lisa is that rapper I talked about earlier, but contrary to her badass onstage presence, Lisa is a straight goofball. I pretty much fell in love with this girl, but I kept watching more and more videos of Blackpink off stage, and I learned that each of the members have their own goofy side. They're just adorable and fun to watch, and that's what hooked me. Before long, I could identify each of the 4 members and officially considered myself a Blink. Brittany was pretty excited that I was in on this K-pop thing and informed me of the proper procedure. Fans of a group are expected to name a bias and a bias wrecker. Basically, they're your first and second favorite members. The bias was easy because that was Lisa, but I struggled in deciding who would be the number 2. Eventually, Blackpink put out a reality show that followed the members during a 100-day vacation called Blackpink House. It was through this series that I learned much more about each member's personality, but I started noticing one way more than I ever had. 안녕, 나는 지수야. Jisoo is the oldest member of the group and is either as weird, if not weirder than Lisa.
I'm Jisoo, I'm okay.
Suddenly I had my bias wrecker for Blackpink, but the problem with being a Blink is that contrary to other K-pop groups, which normally have comebacks and new albums once every few months, Blackpink's comebacks are very few and very far between. But in the spring of 2018, I was exposed to my first comeback as a fan of a group when Blackpink finally put out their first album with the title song, Doo 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 Doo. I quickly downloaded all of the songs and watched the music video on repeat. Now, when a group makes a comeback, they usually make appearances on talk shows to promote the new album. This led to more hilarious moments from the 4 Blackpink members that I was only too ready to watch. Not only that, but when the Justice League movie came out, the scene where Bruce Wayne goes to recruit Barry Allen to the team, I picked up real quick that in the background, heard and seen on a monitor, is Blackpink's As If It's Your Last. So, just in a nutshell, in the DC universe, the same universe that has an actual Superman flying around, an actual Batman, an actual Deathstroke, there is also Blackpink. I should probably pause at this point of the story because Blackpink wasn't the only group that Brittany tried to get me into. She started sending me other girl groups, so I got pictures of Twice, Red Velvet, AOA, EXID, Girls' Day, and I'm like, Brittany. It took me a while to learn Blackpink, and I'm more of a fan of them than K-pop in general. I'm not going to learn another group. I'm just exclusively a Blackpink fan. But obviously that changed because as you can tell from the title of this video that reads How I Got Into K-Pop, I became a fan of more than just Blackpink. So, during one of Blackpink's appearances on these Korean talk shows, Lisa, who is well known as the best dancer of the group, was challenged by the host to watch the choreography of another group and perform it having only seen it once. Lisa, who is a damn dancing machine, nails it, but something happened in that moment. Lisa danced to 2 songs, with the first being Red Flavor by a group called Red Velvet. Of the bit that was shown, I was like, well, I want to listen to the whole thing of that song. So off I went and watched the music video of Red Flavor, and it didn't take long before I was all like, I made the decision to watch some other music videos that Red Velvet did, and I liked them a lot. At that point, I went down the same path that I did for Blackpink. I looked up Red Velvet speaking English. Now, when you do that, you'll find that most of those clips are dominated by one member. Wendy, who is from Canada,
I'm from Canada.
can probably speak English better than I can. Not only that, but she's so articulate with it that she often has to add a Korean accent just so that people can understand her.
Red velvet. Wow.
뭐라고요?
Red velvet.
레드벨벳.
During this, I also realized that Wendy is just a lunatic. Like Lisa, Wendy's actual personality is way different than her presence on stage with those killer vocals. You can probably see a pattern here. I gravitate more toward people with the goofier personalities. Wendy was easily my bias for Red Velvet. I also picked up on the fact that Wendy isn't the only member with a goofy personality, and that all 5 of them are just lunatics.
잘 어울리는데?
Shout out to whoever makes those Red Velvet a mess videos, because those are golden and you are a hero. As is procedure, I eventually chose a bias wrecker who ended up being the group's leader, Irene. Being a fan of now 2 groups, I started looking up clips of Blackpink and Red Velvet interacting and learned that the 2 groups are actually friends. The term Black Velvet is a thing. It's more of a thing for fans. It's not an official thing. But for fans of Red Velvet and Blackpink, it's still great to see these groups interact. Like when Yeri invited Blackpink to come sit with them, or when Jennie and Irene gave little nods during each of their performances to each other, or when Jennie and Irene were seen having lunch and then fighting over the bill, or how Joy looks at Rosie, or... At this point, Britney issued a challenge to me. Learn Twice, which is a group made up of 9 members. I did it in 2 days. It was at this point that I realized I had a superpower to learn names quickly. Eventually, I started following more groups, learning all of the members and declaring a bias and bias records for each group. I could fill out an infinity gauntlet with how many biases I now have. And to make Britney happy, I learned a couple of guy groups in the form of EXO and Monsta X. More of a fan of Monsta X, however, because I'm pretty sure that I want to be Shonu's best friend, and that young one is my spirit animal. K-pop is obviously about the music, and that's at the center of all of it. When a group makes a comeback, it becomes my focus for at least a whole week. Like when I discovered G-Idle, or is it pronounced Idol? Not quite sure. But I was obsessed with 2 major things. How great of a rapper Suyeon is, and how scary she looks, but also how unique of a voice Yuki has. But beyond the music itself, I love watching these idols be people off stage. Seeing the real Lisa, or the real Wendy, or the real Suyeon, it isn't just nice, but it's funny as well. I'll spend hours of my day just watching compilation videos of funny moments between these groups. These people are hilarious, like when the Blackpink members thought that Lisa said porn instead of what she actually said, Joy's facial expressions during the time Red Velvet played the Whisper game, when Girls' Day Yeri packed a framed photo of herself when they went on vacation, or G-Idol Suya getting mad at anybody that talks to Soojin. It's funny and entertaining, and the icing on the cake, the actual cake being the music, obviously. Now we have K-pop getting more notice here in the States. I already mentioned the time that Blackpink was in the Justice League movie, but the group also recently appeared on many US shows like Good Morning America and Stephen Colbert. They have a performance at Coachella, and their most recent comeback, Kill This Love, broke so many records, including most views on YouTube within a 24-hour period. Red Velvet recently concluded their first US tour, and Twice is scheduled to have concerts in the States soon as well. So that's how I got into K-pop, all because my best friend wanted someone to talk to about it. I blame her entirely for this. She did this to me. Not that I'm upset about it. It's pretty much become the thing we talk about. Brittany and I will go days exchanging pictures we've collected, sharing funny videos we've discovered. We'll talk about upcoming comebacks and recommend songs to each other. Usually when we hang out is us just looking up K-pop videos, funny clips, or live performances. I'll randomly during the day get a text saying, "Look at these kings," and it'll be EXO or something. Only difference is that now I know who they are and can engage in conversation. But most of the time we are sending each other funny stuff. So yeah, that's the story. If you follow K-pop, please let me know what kind of groups you like to listen to. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.